The first time the millionaire collapsed in his glass office, everyone assumed it was just another episode of his mysterious illness. But the cleaning single dad who quietly mopped the floor that night noticed something no doctor ever had, and that small, almost invisible detail would unravel a truth so deep that it would change both of their lives forever. The city knew him as Adrian Vale, a self-made millionaire whose face appeared on business magazines and billboards. Yet behind the polished image was a man who was always sick. Some days he fainted without warning. Other days he couldn't breathe properly, his hands shaking as if his body was slowly giving up on him. The best hospitals, the most expensive doctors, and countless tests never gave clear answers. Stress, they said. Genetics, others guessed. Adrian accepted it quietly, convinced that success always demanded a price. He worked harder, slept less, and ignored the growing emptiness inside his massive penthouse. Every night after the building emptied, Noah arrived with his cleaning cart. He was a single dad in his early 30s, raising his 7-year-old son after losing his wife years earlier. Cleaning offices was not his dream, but it paid the bills and allowed him to be home in the mornings when his son woke up. Noah noticed things others didn't. He noticed forgotten family photos turned face down on desks, untouched meals in trash bins, and the silence that echoed louder than noise. When he first saw Adrian collapsed on the office floor, pale and sweating, Noah didn't panic. He checked his breathing, loosened his tie, and called for help, but not before seeing a small injection mark on Adrian's arm that looked wrong. After that night, Adrian survived again, as he always did. But something changed. He began noticing the cleaner who moved quietly through his office. Noah didn't stare with curiosity or fear like others did. He looked with concern. One evening, Adrian spoke first, his voice weak but curious. Noah replied politely, never crossing a line, yet something about his calm presence felt grounding. Over time, small conversations formed, about work, about life, about being tired in ways sleep couldn't fix. Noah never mentioned the injection mark, but he paid attention. He noticed the timing of Adrian's attacks, always after certain meetings, always after drinks left unattended, always after visits from the same assistant. Noah had grown up around hospitals, caring for a chronically ill parent. He wasn't a doctor, but he understood patterns. One night, while emptying a trash bin, he found a broken vial hidden under papers. The label was faded, but he recognized the medication. It wasn't for treating illness. It was for slowly weakening the immune system. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from the weight of truth pressing down on him. The millionaire was not sick by fate. He was being made sick. Noah struggled with what to do. He was just a cleaner, a nobody in a world of power and money. But every night he went home and looked at his sleeping son, he thought about how silence could destroy lives. The next time Adrian collapsed, Noah stayed. When Adrian woke up, confused and exhausted, Noah finally spoke the truth carefully, respectfully, but firmly. Adrian wanted to dismiss it, to laugh it off, but the fear in Noah's eyes stopped him. For the first time, Adrian listened, not as a boss, but as a human being who desperately needed help. Investigations followed quietly. Trust was tested. The assistant, driven by greed and manipulation, was exposed. The truth was heavier than the illness ever had been. Adrian wasn't weak, he had been betrayed. Recovery was slow, painful, and emotional. Without the poison, his body began to heal, but the deeper healing came from realizing how alone he had been. Noah never asked for money or praise. He only asked for one thing, that Adrian never ignore the quiet people who stand nearby, because sometimes they see what the powerful overlook. Months later, Adrian was no longer the man who collapsed behind glass walls. He still worked hard, but he worked with purpose. He created fair wages, support systems, and healthcare for workers like Noah. And Noah. He no longer cleaned offices at night. He managed a small community support program funded by Adrian, helping single parents find stability and dignity. The millionaire who was always sick learned that money could not protect him from harm, but human connection could save him. And the cleaning single dad discovered that courage doesn't come from power, it comes from choosing to speak when silence feels safer. The truth healed them both, proving that sometimes the greatest rescue comes from the most unexpected hands. Before anyone ever questioned his illness, before the doctors and the rumors and the whispered theories, there was one unsettling fact no one could explain. Every time Adrian Vale started to trust someone, his sickness grew worse. And the one person who finally noticed this pattern was the man everyone else looked straight through. Adrian's life looked flawless from the outside, but inside his days blurred into endless pain and confusion. Some mornings he woke up unable to lift his arms, his chest tight as if the air itself had turned against him. He learned to hide it behind tailored suits and practiced smiles. Board meetings continued even when his vision dimmed. Interviews were scheduled even when his body begged him to rest. He believed stopping meant losing everything he had built, so he pushed forward, even as his health slipped further away. At night, alone in his penthouse, he stared at the city lights and wondered how a man surrounded by millions could feel so empty. Noah's life was the opposite, simple, exhausting, and honest. His mornings began with packing lunches and tying shoelaces, his nights spent scrubbing floors others dirtied without thought. He never complained, even when his back ached or when supervisors ignored him. His son, Eli, was his entire world. Every sacrifice made sense when he saw that small smile at the breakfast table. Noah had learned early that survival depended on noticing details, on listening carefully, on caring deeply even when no one returned. As weeks passed, Adrian's condition worsened. Hospital visits became routine, yet answers never came. Noah noticed Adrian stopped eating entirely on certain days. He noticed the drinks that arrived already opened. He noticed how Adrian's assistant always appeared concerned, yet never left his side. Something felt wrong, deeply wrong. Noah began discreetly documenting times, symptoms, and patterns in a small notebook he kept hidden in his cart. He didn't know why, only that his instincts wouldn't let him ignore it. The night everything changed, Adrian collapsed harder than ever before. His breathing was shallow, his skin cold. Panic filled the room, but Noah acted fast, stopping the assistant from administering anything else before medical help arrived. Later, while the office stood silent, Noah finally spoke to Adrian in the hospital room. His voice shook, but his words were steady. He explained what he had seen, what he had found, and what he feared. Adrian wanted to deny it. Accepting the truth meant accepting betrayal, and that hurt more than the illness itself.